on the Morning Report, a mass shooting in an elementary school in Texas leaves a community and a nation in shock.
And that's where I worked. And so this was my school, I consider.
Look for my daughter. I mean, after the shooting, they don't know where she's at. I mean, the list, her name is not here.
The latest details on the shooting are ahead.
Plus, these scenes hit close to home for anyone getting ready to send kids to school today. We'll go over some of the ways you can talk about this shooting with your own kids.
Another beautiful day expected, but there are some showers in our late week forecast. This is the Morning Report.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm Chloe Thibault in for Sharon.
And Alvin Goldberg, Todd's here as well as we roll towards the Memorial Day weekend, and things are starting to look a little bit better. And today's
better,
not too
maybe
bad
on the
either.
weekend. Maybe a little better on the weekend.
Good.
Let's hold that back a little bit. Let's keep teasing them with that information.
That's
Let's
all,
not
that's
give
all
it
you get
away.
for now. That's all you get.
All right. This morning, it's starting out chilly. We're around 40 degrees in a lot of spots. Still some 30s in towns, too. Lewiston, Auburn, LA 39, Freiburg 38, Sanford 39. We have some 30s in Calais as well. So light jacket for the time being, but much of this day looks beautiful again, thanks to this big area of high pressure right over us. Tomorrow looks good too, and then the muggy air returns along with high humidity and rain chances as we get to the weekend, but maybe not for the entire weekend now. All right, this morning some patchy fog will burn off. We'll have a lot of statewide sunshine and then just some patchy clouds dotting the sky, kind of like yesterday afternoon, which was absolutely gorgeous, and I think today will be as well. Winds out of the south today will cool off the coastline in the afternoon. A crisp and quiet start with that patchy fog, 40. Sunny, very comfortable midday, 65, and just beautiful this afternoon, 70 inland and 60 along the coast. All right, we'll talk about those rain chances and see if they're sticking around all weekend. I'll see you in a few minutes with more.
It's just breaking my heart. It's just breaking my heart. I just didn't ever expect anything like that to happen here in Uvalde.
Brokenhearted is how so many people are feeling this morning after a school shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. This is the deadliest school shooting in Texas state history. It's one of the deadliest in U.S. history. This all started yesterday afternoon during the last week of the school year for these kids. Now, the crime scene at Robb Elementary is still active, so a lot of new information is coming in.
Yeah, here's what we know right now about the situation, though. At least 21 people are dead. That includes 2 adults and 19 children, all students between the 2nd and 4th grade. Police say the gunman was 18-year-old Salvador Ramos. Investigators say earlier in the day he actually shot his own grandmother, then went inside Robb Elementary and began shooting there. He had a handgun. He also possibly had a rifle with him as well. He was eventually killed by police, and police say that the gunman did act alone. We still do not know what any motive might have been, and the investigation is obviously just in its beginning stages.
Some families are still looking for their children this morning. Parents have been going back and forth between hospitals and the Civic Center in Uvalde, trying to get information about where their kids are. One of those parents is Jesse Rodriguez. His daughter Annabelle is 10 years old and is in 3rd grade. At last check, she was still missing.
Look for my daughter. I mean, after the shooting, they don't know where she's at. I mean, the list, her name is not here. You know, and we don't know a list of who's gotten flown out, and you're not letting us in at the hospital right now. So we don't know where to go.
Rodriguez and other parents were outside the Civic Center late into the night. Some of them were even providing DNA samples to police. Some parents say the last time they spoke with their kids was yesterday morning when they went to school. During situations like this, the names of other major school shootings inevitably come to mind.
Yeah, Columbine obviously in 1999, Sandy Hook in 2012, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas in 2018, dozens more. And for people who lived through those moments, the scenes from Texas feel all too familiar. Like Marianne Jacobs, she worked at Sandy Hook and hid in a closet during the shooting that happened there.
Even as it was happening, it never occurred to any of us the breadth of the tragedy that was going on. And even after we got out, being able to sort of comprehend and absorb what had really happened was shocking. And that's this community and this elementary school that in Texas, they're going to go through the same thing.
So now the question a lot of parents have this morning is how to talk to their kids about everything that's going on right now.
Yeah, reporter Colleen Sikora asked a family therapist for some advice.
Violence happening again, flashing across our screens, filling our news feeds.
This is devastating. This is traumatic. And that trauma, it stays with people.
Victoria Sechrist, a marriage and family therapist in the Valley, says what's happened in Texas, students and teachers hurt and killed, takes a toll. And social media takes a toll on kids too.
When you're watching these horrific videos, it's actually making it feel like it's happening right there for you.
Sechrist says she's had kids now say drills preparing for an active shooter affect them too.
You're literally preparing for the worst case scenario to occur. And so from what I have heard from kids these days is that it's hitting them and sitting with them in an entirely different way.
Sechrist says preparing a plan is always good, but those emotions and whatever feelings come up from the latest shooting should be expressed.
As we're noticing, these school shootings are not stopping. And so we need to have these conversations. We need to have some sort of preparedness or even being able to understand this is difficult to talk about.
Saying an open conversation is what's needed now.
How did you hear about this? How was this information brought about to you? What are your thoughts? How are you feeling about it? You know, just being able to gently guide into that conversation.
As to what kids need in the midst of such a tragedy.
Kids need to know that they're heard, that they're understood, that they can freely express their fears.
And we're going to get a lot more information about this shooting throughout the day. For the latest updates, you can download the News Center Maine mobile app.
All right, 6:37. We are following other news this morning. Some new information about that hotel fire in Boothbay Harbor. The latest from investigators there and the other day's news coming right up in just a bit. First, Todd, something about our Wednesday weather that I just have to know.
Well, you already kind of know it because it involves the pollen. The pollen's been running really, really high recently, and it will continue to the next couple of days. But we do see a little relief. Unfortunately, it times out with some rain as we enter the weekend. Atmosphere will get rinsed a little bit on Saturday by some showers. Coming up, we'll talk about that weekend forecast. There's a little pup walking the beach, Mother's Beach, in fact, in Kennebunk this morning.